I found a whole bunch of water, and of course first thing you do is you taste it, and it's salty. Hey, good morning everybody. As you can tell, I am back on Karl in Bahia Caracas in Ecuador. I have a couple of boat jobs to do before heading out to the big blue ocean. I'm still debating whether I'm gonna go by myself or if I'm gonna go with crew, whereas I don't really have any crew right now, so it's gonna be maybe just a decision to go by myself because I go by myself. Anyhow, today I'm going to tackle a project that's been on the list for eons. My transmission had started to leak some oil at the rear oil seal long time ago, and Better Marine had sent me a spare oil seal, and they also send me a spare, what's that called, like a flange, I guess, in case I mess up the one that's in there when I take out the seal. Most likely the leaking has started because the transmission, like my engine is mounted a little bit on an angle, and most likely I overfilled it a tiny little bit because I had two different measurements of how much I should fill into the transmission, and it's really difficult to read the dipstick, I find, because the transmission fluid is kind of like this reddish see-through stuff. Better Marine has told me, hey, put some chalk on the dipstick to read it better. That's a really great idea, and I'm gonna do that as soon as I find some chalk. Anyhow, I will try to swap this out and then fill a little bit less fluid into it than I had before, because Better said if you are mounted on an angle, just stay on the lower part of the dipstick. Like, don't fill it up all the way, but like try to keep it low. And then I hope that that's gonna do the deal, and then if I can, I am going to get another one of these now that I have the dimensions here. Get one of these in Manta, because usually those are not too tricky to find, and there's a in Panama you could totally find these. So I hope that here you can too. That's it. Enough talking for now. Back to boat work. Yay! Right now I was working on my project for my shaft seal, but I don't have the right socket, and I tried different things but they wouldn't work, so now I've put that project on hold, and I was gonna work on my lead bars because I still need to cover those in like a coating so they're insulated. Right now they're just like insulated with neoprene thing from the hull, but it needs to be like a little bit more permanent, so I was just gonna dismantle everything. And whilst I was doing that, I found a whole bunch of water at the other side of the bilge that usually is connected to this side, so for some reason it didn't come over on this side. I don't know, maybe something is blocked. And of course first thing you do is you taste it, and it's salty. So I'm not freaking out right now. I went in and I looked at everything. I don't know for sure yet. I doubt that it's something with the fix. Well, it's more like a hope than a knowledge, but I guess if it had been a hole or something, then it would be more water. I think what it is, and I think I've already found the culprit. I think it is the hose that goes from my sink and the head out overboards. It seems that there is a loose connection. It seems that there is a hose that goes into another hose, and it had been hose clamped, and over the time of the movement and probably messing around in the area, seems that it got kind of loose. So I do believe that that's the culprit. I have to remove the lead anyway, so now I have to put the whole cylinder upside down again and then fix that, fix the hose and fix the lead and look if everything, once everything is dry and fixed, and then see, you know, what's going on and if more water's coming in. And the reason why it's salty is because the where the sink empties into the sea is like about that much above the water line. So whilst I was out sailing, it's very likely that waves got pushed into it, and then just went into the hose, like, because that area where the hose is kind of like stuck into the other hose is just like a foot away from the hull. So it's actually really good that I'm seeing this right now, because this could have been a massive catastrophe out at sea. Another thing that I learned. Well, let's get it fixed. Wow. 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 It's always amazing how in a time frame of like 5 minutes the boat can look like this. Back then when I went into yard again to fix the hull the second time, I just really wanted to get going, so that's why I didn't actually deal with insulating the lead properly. So what I did is just like I made sure it wasn't touching anywhere on the metal, but it's not properly insulated yet, so I need to do that now. So that means moving the lead one more time, and I think Maria's gonna come over and give me a hand in a second, but for now I'm just gonna start myself. So yeah, I just like put them in and like wrap something between the walls and the lead itself so it wouldn't touch for the time frame, but obviously that's not enough for long term. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 16 bars of lead lined up here, and I did a little trial run on this guy. It says don't apply in too much sunlight, too much wind, or too much humidity. It doesn't give me many options, but today we're gonna try with the option of too much humidity. See how it goes. To carry on with my transmission oil seal project, I needed a 36mm socket, which I don't have on Karl, unfortunately. And after unsuccessfully checking 6 different hardware stores, I decided to try my luck at one of the car mechanic places in the hope to be able to borrow the tool shortly. The owner of the shop was a little surprised by the slightly unusual request by some German chica asking to borrow a 36mm socket to change the rear oil seal of her transmission on her sailboat. And 15 minutes later, the owner and his help were on board of Karl to ensure that the project was done right. Again and again, I am amazed about how sweet and helpful people are. Thank you so much. Big Red and her rear seal are happy again, and after one more little project, it will be time to explore the coast of Ecuador a little bit. But more about that next week.